You felt it, haven't you? That gnawing frustration, the hollow echo after pouring your heart and soul into something, or someone, only to find yourself more depleted than when you started. It's a familiar ache, isn't it? The harder you push, the more you try to fix, to please, to earn that elusive validation, the further it seems to slip away. You invest your time, your emotional energy, your very essence into situations and relationships that feel like a bottomless pit, leaving you wondering why you're constantly running on empty. Today, we're going to dismantle that pattern. You're not just going to understand why this happens. You're going to feel a profound shift, a subtle but powerful reclaiming of your own inner landscape. You will begin to see the invisible threads that have tied you to these energy drains, and by the end of our time together, you'll have a clear path and a simple, powerful ritual to finally cut them. Dale Carnegie, a man who understood the intricate dance of human nature better than most, saw this cycle playing out in countless lives across America. He recognized that much of our suffering comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of where our true power lies. It's not in the relentless pursuit of external approval, but in the quiet, unwavering sovereignty of our own emotional territory. It's a simple truth, yet profoundly overlooked in our modern world, where the pressure to perform and connect often blurs the lines of self-preservation. If you're tired of feeling like you're constantly giving more than you get, if you're ready to reclaim your peace and purpose, then this conversation is for you. Hit that like button right now, subscribe to Dale Carnegie Life Lessons, and turn on the notification bell. Do it, because this channel is dedicated to bringing you the kind of insights that don't just offer fleeting advice, but truly turn a key inside you, unlocking doors you didn't even know were there. Consider it a pact of reciprocity, a simple exchange for the profound clarity coming your way. And know this, what we're about to uncover will culminate in a final declaration and a powerful ritual, a personal blueprint for the next 21 days that will only be revealed at the very end. The real problem isn't a lack of effort on your part. It's not that you're not smart enough or caring enough. It's that you're often trapped in what we call the echo chamber of affection. Think of it like this. You're standing in a vast, empty canyon, perhaps one of those stunning, expansive landscapes out west, like the Grand Canyon. You shout out, pouring your heart into the void, hoping for a response, a connection, a sign of recognition. But all that comes back to you is the distorted, lonely sound of your own voice, echoing off the canyon walls. You keep shouting, louder and louder, convinced that if you just put more energy in, a different sound will emerge. But it never does. It's just your own energy, reflecting back at you, amplified but ultimately hollow. This echo chamber of affection isn't just about romantic relationships. It permeates friendships, family dynamics, even your professional life. It's that subtle, almost unconscious pattern where you repeatedly seek validation, approval, or love from sources that are either unwilling or incapable of truly providing it. You find yourself drawn to the same types of situations, the same emotional landscapes, almost as if an invisible magnet is pulling you back to familiar, yet ultimately unfulfilling, ground. You might be that dedicated professional in a bustling New York City office, constantly taking on extra tasks, burning the midnight oil, hoping your efforts will finally earn that elusive promotion or recognition, only to see others who seem to do less advance faster. Or perhaps you're that person at the family gathering, working tirelessly to keep everyone happy, mediating every dispute, only to feel overlooked and exhausted by the end of the day. The mechanism here is insidious. It tricks you into believing that more of the same will eventually yield a different result. You convince yourself that if you just try harder, if you just perfect your approach, if you just give a little more of yourself, the echo will transform into a genuine response. But the truth is, the problem isn't your effort, it's the chamber itself. And there's a crucial detail almost no one ever notices about how this chamber is constructed. A detail I'll show you soon. That crucial detail, the one almost everyone misses, is this. The echo chamber of affection isn't merely reflecting your voice. It's reflecting your unaddressed needs and unhealed wounds back at you. It's not just the world failing to respond. It's your own internal landscape, sculpted by past experiences, projecting its longing onto situations and people who are fundamentally incapable of filling that void. You're not just shouting into an empty canyon. You're shouting from a canyon of your own making. And the echo feels hollow because the source of the longing remains unacknowledged within. Carnegie understood that we often create these chambers ourselves, not out of malice, but out of a deep-seated desire for connection. He saw how people in bustling American cities, from the quiet suburbs of Ohio to the vibrant streets of Los Angeles, could feel profoundly alone, constantly seeking external validation because their internal compass was pointing outwards, not inwards. This isn't about blaming you. It's about illuminating the invisible architecture of your emotional world. The first signal you're caught in the echo chamber of affection is a relentless, almost unconscious quest for external validation. You know this feeling. It's that gnawing need for a like on your social media post, a pat on the back from your boss, or an enthusiastic yes from a friend before you feel truly good about a decision. You find yourself constantly adjusting your opinions, your appearance, even your core values to fit what you perceive others want to see. You might be a young professional, fresh out of college, eager to prove yourself in a competitive tech startup in Silicon Valley. Every project, every presentation feels less about the work itself and more about earning the approval of your colleagues and superiors. You live for their nods of agreement, their compliments, and the absence of these leaves you feeling inadequate, even if the work itself was exemplary. The micro-action here is simple, but powerful. For the next 24 hours, before you share anything, before you seek an opinion, ask yourself, am I doing this because it genuinely resonates with me, or because I anticipate a specific external reaction? Just the act of asking begins to untangle the wires. It's not about stopping, it's about noticing. But this is just the surface. There's another, even more subtle way the echo chamber keeps you trapped, often disguised as something positive, and I'll reveal that in just a moment. The second marker of being caught in this chamber is the persistent overinvestment in unreciprocated dynamics. You feel this when you're the one always reaching out, always initiating, always making the effort, whether it's planning a weekend trip with friends or being the designated emotional support for a family member. You're the one pouring your energy into a relationship, a project, or even a cause, only to find that the flow is consistently one way. Think of Sarah, a dedicated community organizer in a small town in rural America. She spends countless hours volunteering, organizing events, always putting others first, hoping to build a stronger, more connected community. Yet, when she needs help moving or a shoulder to cry on, she finds herself alone. She attributes it to people being busy or her being strong enough to handle it. But the truth is, she's become so accustomed to giving without receiving that she's unwittingly trained others not to give back. Her generosity, while noble, has become a silent plea for recognition, trapped in the echo of her own efforts. Today, identify one relationship or situation where you consistently overinvest. For that specific dynamic, simply observe without acting. If you're usually the one to text first, wait. If you're always offering solutions, listen. It's not about being cold, it's about creating space for reciprocity, allowing the other side of the chamber to reveal if it has a voice of its own. If any of this is starting to resonate, if you're seeing these patterns in your own life, I want you to do something for me. In the comments below, type just one word: clarity. I read every single one, and your feedback helps me tailor these insights even further. It's a small act, but it's a powerful declaration of your readiness to see things differently. Remember, the ultimate tool, the phrase ankara, and the ritual that will truly break these cycles is still to come, waiting for you at the very end of our conversation. A third, often overlooked sign you're caught in the echo chamber of affection is a deep-seated avoidance of necessary discomfort or conflict. You know this feeling. It's that urge to smooth things over, to bite your tongue, to agree even when you disagree, all to maintain a superficial peace. You might be someone who consistently defers to others' opinions in group settings, whether it's deciding on a restaurant in downtown Chicago or a vacation spot with your family. You avoid challenging a friend's questionable behavior, or you stay silent when a colleague takes credit for your work. All because the thought of an awkward conversation or a potential disagreement feels unbearable. This isn't true harmony. It's a silent, internal sacrifice. You're trading your authentic voice for the illusion of external approval, believing that if you just keep the peace, you'll be liked, accepted, perhaps even loved. But what you're really doing is reinforcing the walls of your own echo chamber, where your true self struggles to be heard. Today, identify one small situation where you would typically avoid expressing a mild disagreement or a different preference. It could be as simple as choosing a different coffee shop than your usual group, or gently stating your opinion on a non-critical matter. Practice expressing it calmly, without aggression, and then simply observe the outcome. This isn't about picking fights. It's about exercising your voice, even if it feels a little wobbly at first, and discovering that the world doesn't fall apart when you do. Each of these markers points to a deeper truth. You are not responsible for managing the emotional landscape of others, and your worth is not a negotiation. But understanding this intellectually is one thing. Truly integrating it and changing the deep-seated patterns requires something more. There's a profound reframe, a complete shift in perspective that can turn the walls of this echo chamber into an open horizon, and that's what we'll explore next. The truth is, most strategies you've tried so far have failed precisely because they don't address the core mechanics of this chamber, and I'm going to show you why that is, and how Dale Carnegie's timeless wisdom offers a different path. Most strategies you've tried so far, the ones that tell you to just try harder, to communicate more effectively, or to be more understanding, have failed precisely because they don't address the core mechanics of this chamber. They focus on external adjustments within an internal problem. Think about it. In a culture like ours, where we celebrate resilience and the pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, the natural instinct is to double down on effort. If something isn't working, we're taught to work harder. If a relationship feels distant, we're told to communicate more. But within the echo chamber of affection, these well-intentioned efforts often become just more shouts into the void, more energy poured into an unyielding space. You're not fixing the acoustics. You're just making more noise. Dale Carnegie's wisdom, distilled from decades of observing human interaction across the American landscape, offers a profound reframe. He understood that true influence, true connection, doesn't come from manipulating external outcomes or endlessly adjusting your performance. It comes from a foundational shift in your internal landscape. The echo chamber of affection isn't just a metaphor for unreciprocated effort. It's a mirror reflecting your own internal state. When you understand that the problem isn't the sound you're making, but the acoustics of the room you're in, a room you've inadvertently helped construct, then the entire game changes. You stop trying to change the echo and start to dismantle the chamber itself. Consider Maria, a bright, ambitious young woman from a vibrant community in Texas, the first in her family to graduate from a prestigious university. She moved to New York City with big dreams, eager to make her mark in the competitive world of advertising. Maria, like so many, had a deep-seated need to prove her worth, not just to her new colleagues, but to her family back home, to show that their sacrifices were worth it. She poured herself into her work, regularly staying late, taking on extra projects, and always being the first to volunteer. She also became the emotional anchor for her new friend group, always listening, always offering advice, always the one to organize social gatherings. She believed that by being indispensable, by constantly giving, she would earn the respect, the love, and the recognition she craved. But the harder she worked, the more she gave, the more she felt a crushing exhaustion, a quiet resentment. Her colleagues admired her work ethic, but rarely acknowledged her personal contributions. Her friends loved her company, but rarely initiated plans or checked in on her emotional well-being. She was in her own echo chamber of affection, constantly broadcasting her value, only to hear the faint, distorted reverberations of her own efforts. Her turning point came during a particularly demanding campaign. Overwhelmed and on the verge of burnout, she realized that her constant striving for external validation was not only unsustainable, but also making her deeply unhappy. She wasn't leading, she was reacting. She wasn't choosing, she was pleading. Instead of trying to force more recognition from her boss or more reciprocity from her friends, Maria began a simple yet radical practice. She started observing her own impulses. Before automatically saying yes to an extra task or offering unsolicited advice, she would take what we call the pause of presence. Just a few deep breaths, a moment to feel her feet on the ground, and ask herself, am I about to do this from a place of genuine desire or from a fear of not being enough? This small act, this pause of presence, was her first step out of the reactive cycle. It wasn't about saying no to everything, but about making a conscious choice, rooted in her own internal landscape, rather than being pulled by the invisible strings of the echo chamber of affection. It was a tiny crack in the chamber walls, allowing a sliver of genuine self-awareness to enter. This isn't a quick fix. It's a re-education of your nervous system, a repatterning of your deepest responses. But it's a start, a powerful partial reward that you can apply right now, today. What if the very energy you're expending to get what you want is precisely what's pushing it away? What if the key to unlocking true connection and fulfillment lies not in more effort, but in a profound shift in where you place your energy? This shift, this ultimate tool, combined with a powerful phrase ankara and a transformative ritual, is waiting for you at the very end of our conversation. The subtle deception of the echo chamber of affection is that it thrives on a cultural narrative deeply embedded in the American psyche. The idea that hard work, perseverance, and sacrifice will always lead to success and recognition. We're taught from a young age, from the classrooms of small-town Nebraska to the boardrooms of Wall Street, to earn our stripes, to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. This is a powerful and often beneficial ethos, but within the echo chamber, this very drive gets twisted. We apply the same logic to emotional and relational dynamics, believing that if we just work harder at being loved, at being appreciated, at being seen, then it will eventually happen. We pour more and more of ourselves into situations, convinced that our sheer effort will somehow transform the unyielding walls of the chamber into open arms. But Dale Carnegie, with his profound understanding of human nature, saw the flaw in this application. He understood that while effort is vital for achievement, it's detrimental when applied to a dynamic that is fundamentally unreciprocated. He taught that true influence isn't about forcing a response, but about cultivating a state where genuine connection can flourish. The echo chamber of affection isn't broken by louder shouting. It's dismantled by understanding that you are not a performer in someone else's play. You are the director of your own internal world. When you shift from desperately trying to extract validation from others to firmly establishing your own self-worth, she'd pause, check in with herself, and ask, does this align with my goals? Do I have the capacity? Am I doing this because I genuinely want to contribute or because I fear missing out on praise? This subtle shift led her to politely decline tasks that were outside her scope or to negotiate for more reasonable deadlines. To her surprise, her colleagues respected her boundaries, and her boss, instead of seeing her as less committed, began to value her focused contributions even more. She wasn't seeking validation. She was demonstrating competence and self-respect. In her friendships, the change was equally profound. Instead of always being the one to initiate plans or offer unsolicited advice, she created space. She expressed her desire for connection, but then waited, allowing others the opportunity to step forward. It was uncomfortable at first. Some friendships, those built purely on her giving, naturally faded. But others, the ones with genuine reciprocity at their core, deepened. Friends who truly valued her, not just her tireless efforts, began to initiate, to check in, to offer support. Maria realized that the fear of losing connections had often pushed her to overinvest in relationships that were never truly balanced. By choosing her worth, she wasn't losing friends. She was gaining authentic connections. She was moving from a place of pleading for affection to leading her own emotional experience. This shift, this reclaiming of your internal sovereignty, is not about becoming selfish or indifferent. It's about building an unshakable core so that when you do engage, it's from a place of abundance, not scarcity. It's about understanding that the love and recognition you seek are not commodities to be earned, but inherent aspects of your being, waiting to be acknowledged by you first. To help you cultivate this, I offer you another micro-tool, something you can integrate into your day, starting now. We'll call it the Daily Energy Audit. For the next week, at the end of each day, take just 2 minutes. Grab a notebook or simply reflect. Ask yourself, today, where did I invest my energy? And did that investment return anything to me, either externally or internally? Be honest. Identify one instance where you felt drained without return, and one where you felt nourished. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. It's about mapping the invisible currents of your emotional economy, and it's a powerful step towards closing the leaks in your energy bucket. Are you ready to stop being a performer in someone else's play and start directing your own? What if the key to unlocking true connection and fulfillment isn't about doing more, but about being more aligned with your authentic self? This profound shift, this ultimate tool, combined with a powerful phrase ankara and a transformative ritual, is waiting for you at the very end of our conversation. The truth is, the most profound shift happens when you truly internalize this: I am not an echo. I am the source. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a complete recalibration of your entire being, a declaration of independence for your emotional landscape. Think about the iconic American spirit, the drive for self-reliance and forging your own path. For too long, we've applied that fierce independence to external achievements, building businesses, conquering frontiers, creating new innovations. But Dale Carnegie, in his quiet wisdom, showed us that the most vital frontier is often within. He understood that the validation, the love, the appreciation you seek doesn't originate out there and then bounce back to you, a mere reverberation of someone else's opinion. It originates within you. Only when you fully claim that internal source, acknowledging its inherent power and abundance, can it truly flow outward and attract genuine resonance. You're not waiting for someone to complete you. You are already whole, a vibrant, self-sufficient entity. Your completeness is the very magnet that draws authentic connection, not a void that desperately pulls. To embody this truth, to finally dismantle the echo chamber of affection and step into your sovereign power, I offer you the ritual of the inner compass. This isn't some complex, time-consuming regimen. It's a simple, that profoundly impactful practice designed to re-anchor your energy and attention to your own internal landscape. Commit to this for just 21 days, and you will begin to rewire your deepest responses. Here are the 5 steps to reclaim your inner territory. First, each morning, before you check your phone, before the demands of the world begin to pull at you, take a moment. Place your hand over your heart, close your eyes if you can, and quietly state with conviction, "My energy is sacred. I choose where it goes. My worth is non-negotiable." This is your daily intention, a powerful, protective boundary you set for yourself. This isn't about being selfish. It's about acknowledging your own precious resource and deciding, consciously, how it will be spent. Second, at midday, take a conscious pause, perhaps during your lunch break or a quiet moment in your car. Gently observe one instance from your morning where you felt an urge to overinvest, to give more than felt natural, or to seek external approval. Maybe you caught yourself trying too hard to please a colleague, or sending a follow-up text too quickly. Just notice it, without judgment, without shame. This is about building keen self-awareness, illuminating the invisible strings that once pulled you, not about self-criticism. This simple act of noticing is the first step to untangling. Third, in the evening, as you wind down, reflect on one small choice you made that day which honored your authentic self, even if it felt a little uncomfortable. Perhaps you politely declined an invitation that didn't truly energize you, or expressed a genuine preference in a group discussion, or simply allowed yourself a moment of rest without guilt, pushing back against the relentless American pace. Acknowledge that act of self-sovereignty, no matter how small. Celebrate it. This is how you reinforce new neural pathways, proving to yourself that your voice matters. Fourth, just before sleep, as your mind prepares for rest, repeat the anchor phrase like a mantra. I am not an echo. I am the source. Let it settle deep into your subconscious, allowing it to reprogram the old patterns of seeking external validation. Visualize yourself as a lighthouse, radiating your own light rather than a mirror reflecting others. And fifth, for the next 21 consecutive days, commit to these 4 steps. Why 21 days? Because that's often the threshold for beginning to forge new habits, for gently yet firmly shifting your default settings. You're not fighting a battle against the world. You're simply redirecting your gaze, turning your inner compass back to true north, ensuring your energy flows from within, not from external demands. This isn't about becoming indifferent or isolating yourself. Quite the opposite. It's about building an unshakable core, a foundation of self-respect and inner knowing. It's about cultivating an abundance within, so that when you do engage with the world, with your relationships, your work, your community, it's from a place of genuine desire, an overflow of your own well-being, not from desperate need or an attempt to fill a perceived void. The profound effect, you'll find, is a subtle but powerful sense of inner quiet, a feeling of being less reactive to the pushes and pulls of others, more resilient in the face of life's inevitable challenges, much like the stoic strength of the redwood forests, deeply rooted and unyielding. If this resonates, if you feel that whisper of recognition, if you are truly ready to stop wasting your precious energy and start living from a place of authentic power, then I ask you to make a public declaration. This isn't just for me. It's a powerful statement to yourself, a conscious step across a threshold. Copy and paste this exact sentence into the comments below right now. I am ready to choose my worth. Let your commitment echo, not in the empty chamber of external validation, but in the vibrant community of those who are also choosing their sovereignty. And if this conversation has already turned a key in you, if it's helped you see your own truth more clearly, then please hit that like button, subscribe to Dale Carnegie Life Lessons, and activate the notification bell. Share this video with one specific person in your life who you know is caught in their own echo chamber, someone who needs to hear this message of self-reclamation. Your engagement helps us bring these vital insights to more people who are ready to make a fundamental change in how they experience their lives. This, remember, is just the first step on a journey of profound internal reconstruction. Next time, we'll delve deeper into the intricate ways your mind's deepest self-preservation mechanisms, what Freud called narcissism in its purest sense of self-love, can ironically lead you to protect a flawed self-image by repeating old, comfortable patterns rather than facing uncomfortable truths. We'll explore how to gently disarm these defenses, understanding why your mind, in its purest intent to keep you safe, sometimes holds you back from your greatest potential. And after that, we'll explore how cultivating this profound internal freedom naturally draws in relationships that truly nourish and reflect your authentic self, rather than merely echoing your past wounds. Are you ready to stop running in the echo chamber of affection and finally step into a reality where your energy creates rather than depletes? Those next powerful steps will appear on your screen now. But before you go, consider this as you look out at your own horizon. What if the greatest love story you could ever write is the one where you finally choose yourself?